Waking up in Boston town, best pups in the city all around. Let's get that tail wagging right, making every good day so bright. It's the Common Dog Podcast. Yeah, the Common Dog Podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Common Dog Podcast. I'm your host, Laura Donnell. I'm here with JB, my general manager, and Sabrina, my desk manager. And today our guest is Snooki. Hello, baby. You're such a good girl. Oh, such a good girl. Snooki is a mixed breed. Not entirely sure what. I think they did that DNA thing, but I don't know how accurate those are.
Heinz 57.
Yeah, Heinz 57 is what we like to call dogs. We have no idea what they are. She's 6, and we were first introduced to Snooki from clients who their daycare had closed, right?
Yep.
And so they were looking for a new daycare, but they were also looking for some help. Why don't you talk about how Snooki first kind of came through our door here?
Yeah, she came in just about like any other daycare dog. They went through the onboarding process. She came in for her trial day. When she came in for her trial day, it was a new place. So she was definitely a little bit off-put. And her owners let us know that she does have a little bit of anxiety in large groups and things like that. So we took
some stranger danger.
So we took those things into mind when we took her in.
So when she first came in, you knew, she had some things, but she had done daycare.
Yeah.
So
yep. So we always try to get the full picture on any dog who comes in. So we ask about their prior experience. Did they have experience with daycare? What is their experience like with dogs in general?
Right. And people.
Yep. So we take all of those things into effect whenever we bring them back there, because we want to make sure that they're set up for success.
Right. So she came in, the day she came in, she came in with both parents? Did both parents drop off? Yeah. So that was like a regular weekday that she came in?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And were you at the desk, or was somebody else at the
I actually wasn't at the desk.
You weren't at the desk? So
yeah.
Someone else was at our desk receiving them as a client, and she was okay from what I understand. I didn't receive her at the desk either.
The only issue that they had was when they brought her back, she was very standoffish when they were trying to get her stuff off. So we just kind of left
harness
it on and just kind of gave her some time to decompress.
So we have an area in our indoor dog park. It's called Sallyport, where and we have fencing, picket fencing, so the dogs can see each other and even go nose to nose, where it gives them space, right? Gives them space so they can not have dogs right next to them or over them, but they can go to the fence and say hi, or and see everyone who works here, so they kind of get a good view of what's going on without having dogs kind of jumping on them or people.
It's like a little
too
decompression
near.
zone.
Yeah, a little decompression area, so to speak. And from what I understand, she never made it out of that zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So I wasn't there for the trial day.
Oh, you weren't for the trial, at all? Oh, okay.
From her notes, she they couldn't kennel lead her. She just backed herself into a corner.
Okay, so I can talk about it. I was here because I had to get her out of the room. All right, so she never made it out of the decompression zone. I wasn't in the yard when she came in. I'm often involved with receiving a dog that we already know may be kind of an issue, that might be really uncomfortable or might be a bite risk, right? We didn't really know that about her at that point, being super anxiety ridden and kind of uncomfortable with people per se, because she had already done daycare.
Right.
So when she got into the back in the indoor park, they were not able to get her past the Sallyport area. They did have a kennel lead on her, but she was really showing signs of being very, very uncomfortable. And what we do in that situation is we don't push the dog. There's no reason to. Sometimes you just give them enough time. First day at camp can be kind of scary.
Yeah.
So they tried to give her some time to decompress a little bit and have her own space. So what they did was they were able to kennel lead her over to one of our king suites, very large bedroom where dogs typically board. And she went into the room. They were able to get a bowl of water in there. But she didn't want anybody near the room. Once she got into that room, she was like, this is my space and you're not coming in. So again, with that kind of a situation, we take it slow, and we try to see if the dog can kind of cool down a little bit. We have half doors there, so you can open the top part, but not the bottom part. So they still feel like they have their own space and they're a little more comfortable with that. But she was not comfortable in that room. And ultimately, she did not pass her trial day here at the Common Dog. So what do we do in that situation when we've got a dog that is really showing signs of, I don't want you to touch me, I don't want you to come near me, I don't want to be here, and I'm not decompressing, and if you push this envelope with me, I may be a bite risk. What do we do in that scenario?
Yeah, so we do try to work with the dogs as much as possible. So whenever we have a dog who doesn't necessarily do good in group, we try to find other avenues for them, whether they go through structured daycare or have some private lessons, maybe some in-homes, or potentially even just the board and train like Snooki did. We try to look for different options for them rather than just saying, we're not the facility for you.
Right. So we called the owner and we explained what the situation was. And
you and I talked to the dad when he picked up.
We talked to the dad when he picked up, and we were just a little surprised at her being so uncomfortable with dog-friendly people because she had been going to another local daycare before they shut down. But this shows you that not every daycare, no two daycares really are the same. And a dog that's uncomfortable can get comfortable with where they're going. Over, sometimes it's just a little, the first day is the scary day and it's okay. Sometimes it takes a little longer. So what we suggested with Dad was for them to come in for what we call a discovery meeting. Why don't you talk a little bit about how we handle our discovery meetings?
So pretty much every discovery meeting, the first thing that I usually do, obviously, is ask if the dog is a bite risk. So that we can say, okay, if they aren't, then we'll kind of let them mosey on and do their thing. She, we believe, could have been if she was pushed far enough. So we just kind of allowed the owners to hold on to her leash. But I do like to see the dogs kind of see if they...
Let's back up. I want you to say what a discovery meeting is. That word means nothing to some viewers.
I'm so sorry.
I want you to say that we schedule an hour-long session for you to come in where you'll get tips and techniques. We work with the owner. We talk about what goals are. Just as if you were telling somebody on the phone, I need you to come in for a discovery meeting.
Okay.
This is what a discovery meeting is.
Going through the process.
You're going through the process before you've described what it is at all.
Okay.
So back up and start. So tell me a little bit about what our discovery meeting is.
Right. So our discovery meeting is about an hour-long session that we have here at the facility with one of the trainers, or in that case, it was the two of us.
It was both of us, since she was potentially a bite risk.
Right, and you're usually almost always involved when it is a bite risk dog.
Because that's my background.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And we have them come in. We schedule it in advance, and they come in with the dog. We ask them a ton of questions, just to kind of get a very, she's using your foot.
I know, my foot is a little pillow.
We get a huge kind of wide scope of how the day-to-day life goes with your dog, and try and find where there's some issues that might be there that you may not know about, or, okay, this makes sense, right?
Then we talk about goals. What do you hope for?
What do you want? What are you hoping for? What do you want your life to look like? Like, you may be like, right now I need to work on reactivity, but eventually I want to be able to take my dog on a trail. Okay, well, that then says, we're going to do this training now, but we are going to do training further on down.
Work towards this.
To work towards what your end goal is, right? So that you have an expectation of, we can tackle this one problem now, and then we can move on, not all of it all at once.
Right. And so when we do the discovery meeting, it's, like you said, it's about an hour long, and from that, we're able to kind of draft an avenue of what direction to go in based on the goals of the owner, the skill set that the owner has and is able to do, and in part, what are their surroundings? Are they in a house with a fence? Do they live in an apartment complex with an elevator? Are they on a busy street? Are they out in the woods? That kind of factors into it as well, to your point of, we ask all kinds of questions, try to figure out
what your life looks like.
Yep. Do you have kids? Do you have kids that come over, right? Do you have elderly parents that live in, the apartment upstairs? What does it all look like? And from that, we're able to really draft a course of action to help the dog and help the owners get hopefully to their goals, whatever those goals are. So Snooki's owners were really interested in a number of things, including for her to continue to do daycare, which we never promise, right? No. We never promise as trainers that your dog will be able to do daycare. Why? Because it's not meant for every dog. All right, I'm going to back up.
She put you on the spot. That was so funny.
She was like, oh my God, my brain doesn't work. All right, so why do we not promise that as trainers, your dog will be able to do daycare?
It's not meant for every dog.
Right? My dog can't do it. Actually, neither one of my dogs can do it. I have 2 dogs. I have a boxer and I have a Belgian.
Your dogs before that couldn't do it.
None of my dogs actually ended up being it. I'm on my 6th dog that can't go to my own daycare. Now, my boxers started out in daycare, but eventually, were fired because some outgrew it. Right? I love your analogy of when you're in your 30s, you don't want to go to the club anymore, right? You barely want to go outside. So in your 40s, so they age out. It happens. It
Socialization looks different for each dog.
It does. It does very, very much. And daycare is a great outlet for a lot of dogs, but not every dog can handle all that energy. And my Mal, she can't do it. Her prey drive is through the roof. There's no way she's looking at our indoor park going, this is a smorgasbord of wonderful things I can have in my mouth. That's how she looks at indoor daycare for dogs. So she's not a candidate. And Eris just, she's a bully breed. Eventually was like, I want to fight. Yep. This looks like a good fight yard. So she got the boot. You fired her. Every other boxer I've had pretty much got fired. So don't take it personally if your dog can't do daycare, because not every dog is meant for daycare. And there are dogs that we're like, maybe they're just not meant for this daycare and our setup. So every daycare is different. There are some places that are very small that are run out of the home where they have 6 or 8 dogs. We have a lot more than that. So you can try different places, right? But we are never going to promise as trainers that your dog is going to be able to do daycare. Actually, we never promise anything with training. Right. We do our very best. We work with the dog, we work with the owners, and we put in the extra effort to try to help the owner get to their goal. But there is no promise with training. And anybody's saying, oh, I promise I'll get your dog to this level or be able to do this or whatever.
There's so many undecided factors.
There's so many things, right? So many things. And the reality is, can we get your dog to jump through a hoop of fire? Probably. Yeah. No, probably. But A, that's not what you want. And B, that doesn't mean we're going to be able to train you to get your dog to jump through that hoop of fire. Yeah. So it's really important to have realistic goals. And having, mandatory, my dog must be able to do daycare shouldn't be one of them. So, and we're really honest with people about that. Especially, when we have dogs come in for their trial day. We're really honest. Some of the verbiage that we use is hey, no news is good news, right? But please stay local, because
just in case something happens and your pup needs to get picked up, we'd like for you to be local.
And usually that's not necessarily because of aggression. Right. It's more so they are really stressed, really, really stressed, like Snooki was, really, really stressed. So when we have a dog that's with us, that's really, really stressed, it can be from a number of factors. One factor may just be they're not meant for doggy daycare. We noticed that in speaking with mom and dad during the discovery meeting, that probably wasn't the case. Right. What we did notice, what the discovery meeting really enables us to do, is watch the dog around the owner. We get to watch your dog around you, and that answers a litany of questions. So many questions are answered literally in just 5 minutes me watching your dog around you. And so with Snooki, one of the goals was, well, we'd love for her to get socialization and be able to do daycare. We said, okay, we'll try. We will try. And that was one of the goals. But what we found during the discovery meeting, and one of the biggest things with Snooki is she has massive separation anxiety. Part of her super anxiousness while she was here wasn't so much being terrified of dogs or terrified of us. She was really stressed being away from her parents. Really, really, really wanted to be with mom and dad. She is a Velcro dog.
Look how stressed she is right
I know, she's so stressed. So stressed. So stressed. She really did not want to be here because, in large part, she has massive separation anxiety. COVID dog, so many dogs that ultimately never got any sort of socialization of any kind with people or dogs because we all had to stay inside our houses and hide. So that is one of the few things we normally try to talk people out of board and trains because everybody thinks it's, oh, you're going to train my dog and my dog is going to be perfect when they come back. No, that is not the case. And anybody trying to sell you a board and train and tell you that, you should run for the hills. The real training always really starts when the dog goes home. We just get your dog started.
We're getting the ball over the hill. We're building the foundation.
We're hopefully working through a regression period that we don't want you to have to experience at home, where the dog is just 2 weeks into it and your dog is, and it's really textbook. They're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I'm done.
And so if the board and train is too short, then the dog goes home, goes through a regression period, and we get calls, literally people in tears going, my dog won't even sit. They don't do anything. It's like they've stopped listening to me entirely. So we try to get them through that, over that hump before we send them home. Separation anxiety is absolutely one of the few situations where we want to take the dog for a board and train. Why? Because your dog needs a reboot. They need a reset, and so do you. We need to get you guys away from each other. Just get away from each other. Why? Because your dog you are their air. They have in their head that they can't live without you. You are their air. And 2 feet away, we've seen dogs that cannot be 2 feet away from their owner without losing it. So Snooki had massive separation anxiety. So we took her in for a board and train, and she clearly still hates people and can't stand to be away from her. No. This is what we hope for.
Right.
We help your dog through those first phases of, wow, I am in withdrawal, for lack of a better word. I am in withdrawal from my owner. We're able to help reset their central nervous system. It is behavior modification 101. Reset their central nervous system. Then we start helping to build their confidence. Dogs that have separation anxiety don't have any confidence. They literally feel they can't exist on their own without their owner. You are their heir. So we help build confidence with them by having them learn commands, how to be alone, but commands, getting praised for the right reasons, how to chill out, how to have alone time, how to essentially be on their own four paws, right? Building self-confidence is hugely important for dogs that have separation anxiety because they literally believe they can't be alone. They literally believe they cannot be away from their owners. And when a dog believes that, that's their reality, they just shut down. They don't want to be away from their owners. They don't want to be handled by anybody else. They don't want anybody else coming near their owners. So I've found in training, separation anxiety and resource guarding kind of go hand in hand.
Reactivity too.
Reactivity.
Right.
Like, get away from my owners. I don't want anybody taking my air. So it is one of the few times where the minute we see it in a discovery meeting, that's when we're like, oh, this is going to need a board and train.
And like you said earlier, it's also a reset for the owners because they're so used to those daily behaviors and I think both of them work from home. Multiple days a week. So you get into that habit of your dog's right underneath you. They're at the desk. And you're just
talking to them and
touching them, and they're just
and you don't even know it.
Nobody really realizes
they're
doing it. Right. And it gets them out of that habit as well. So it's not just about the dog.
The owners need to reset too. And let's face it, when you have a dog that you feel is constantly anxious and uncomfortable and you can't ever leave them alone, nobody has quality of life at that point. You didn't get a dog so you can never leave your house or ever go on a walk or, ever leave them with a wonderful place to board your dog or anything of that nature.
Take
That's
a
not
shower.
We've
had dogs
literally like screaming at the door because the bathroom door is shut. That's my cat. I gotta find a cat trainer. That is my cat. If there is a door shut, she is scraping at it. And it doesn't even matter who it is. Like, she doesn't like my husband. He's a really nice guy, but for whatever reason, she doesn't like him. She'll scratch at the door when he's in the bathroom. I'm like, you don't even like him. Why do you have to get in there? Doors shut are just a hard stop for her. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, no confidence, massive separation anxiety. That's an immediate board and train for us. Assuming the client, is able to do that, because it is the shortest time frame to help the dog get
furthest
on the right avenue, right? It's the best thing for it.
Otherwise, you're going to be working against the grain, basically, for
for months if not years, because you can't get away from your dog.
Right.
You're the one training your dog, but your relationship with the dog is the problem, right? That's the big thing, is your relationship with your dog is the problem if your dog has separation anxiety. So how, as the owner, do you train through that?
Right.
You can't.
Yeah. It's hard too, and we try super hard not to make the owners feel bad, because it's nothing that they've done wrong.
It's because they responded.
They love their dog.
Right. They love their dog. Their dog got, just seemed needy and uncomfortable. So what's the first thing we want to do? Coddle. We want to coddle the dog. It's okay. And what are we doing when a dog is behaving in that way and we say, it's okay? What are we doing?
We're just reinforcing that it's okay.
Right. And we're literally telling the dog, keep behaving like this.
Yep.
It's okay. I want you to behave like this.
Yep.
And it's so the opposite of how our brains work, especially as mamas.
Because
we want to mollify this. Right. We want to make you feel better. So here I'm going to cuddle and say, it's okay.
It's a context thing. They can't understand the context.
Right.
And
it's really hard. It's really hard. I mean, I was just doing it yesterday with my own dog, telling her, it's okay, relax, because she was going off crazy. UPS man came up to the house. You would have thought, we were being attacked by aliens. She's running, doing the crazy, Indy 500 and barking her head off. It's okay, Rhea. And then I almost slapped myself. I was like, no, it's not. No, quiet, crate. And she immediately settled and calmed down, which is also why we really love crate training, because it gives them a space, a place to go to that they can associate with their space, quiet, safe, comfortable. So many good things. Honestly, I feel as a trainer, however many years I've been doing this, 30 years, that separation anxiety has gotten so much worse. And I'll tell you straight up, I think in part, it's because of the whole force-free, never tell your dog no, that idea of, it's all only about making the dog feel better. Well, you're ruining these dogs. You are ruining these poor dogs. You are destroying their quality of life because you don't feel comfortable saying, no, that's not the behavior I want.
Yeah.
You need to stand on your own four paws.
We also had, there was a couple of clients that we had that the owners were told never to leave their dogs ever when they. Well,
we've heard some. Let's talk about that for a minute. Some of the crazy stuff our clients have shared with us that they have been told by other trainers
over your window. That one was one of my favorites.
Live in a bubble.
The dog is reactive to the things outside, so put cardboard over your window so he can't see anything. It's not solving the problem.
Do that when you're driving. I'd like to see that. When you have to put your dog in the car, just put cardboards over your window.
And that client in particular, we were the first ones to tell her, and we had gone through.
I think
she had gone through four. That we were her fourth trainer. We're actually, I think, her fourth trainer as well.
I think so.
But they worked on different things with her with the other trainers. But with that, the dog I'm talking about with the cardboard windows, we were their fourth trainer. And
I don't mean to laugh. It's sad.
It's just it's insane. And we were the first ones to tell her to stop talking to her dog and crate him. Yep. That's it.
And that dog is a massive success story.
Massively successful. He's in group. He's in all the things. He was a huge bite risk.
Yeah.
And he's a sweet little dude. I love him. And, they had seen not a night and day difference, but we had started to tell them to do these things before we got him for the board and train. And she said he's like,
he's already different.
Already
different. Because I stopped coddling him when he cried.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's live in a bubble. Take your dog out for walks in the very early morning or really late at night.
Just give them food when they're reacting.
Right. Okay. When your dog is doing something good, like laying down, and then give them a treat. What?
Yeah.
Here's food. And your dog, I can promise you, has absolutely no idea why you're giving him food. It is find when your dog is laying down. You mean sleeping? I mean, it's absolutely crazy to me. Yeah. Ignore the bite.
Yeah.
Ignore the teeth on.
The teeth.
Some dogs are just more oral. They're more orally fixated, and that's them loving you.
Mm-mm.
No, that's them biting you. Okay.
I always try to tell people. So I use two different analogies. I go, first of all, if your dog would do that thing to another dog, what would that dog do? They would probably correct them in some capacity.
What? With a growl, all the way to a bite.
Right. And then I want you to also pretend that you're at a bar and some weirdo who is drunk does exactly what your dog just did to you. What are you going to do to them?
Where are all of our analogies bars? We are not big drinkers, but we have a lot of bar analogies.
It's the most social kind of environment where you're going to be potentially uncomfortable, right? So imagine some weirdo comes over to you and is
right. It can happen at the grocery store, not just a bar.
Yeah, right. I mean, anything like that. Just somebody walking up to you and touching you, or just doing stuff like that, getting in your face. Two dogs to each other's face. What are you going to do? And most clients are like, I probably hit them. I'm like, yeah, well, that's your dog's version of hitting is biting.
Right.
Right? So, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. And then
so much of our job is common sense, but it's so hard when you're that close to the problem. I mean, I've even consulted other trainers literally to help me train my dog because I was too close to the problem. I mean, I've also, had you help me with clients where I felt like I was just not well, that's what we're there for.
Stuff, right? Yeah, I'm just I've been doing a lot of lessons with this client and I feel like I'm missing something, and that can happen too.
That's the bonus of honestly, I think that's a huge bonus of working with Common Dog, because we have so many different trainers and we all utilize basically the same methodology, but we all have our own approaches.
Yep.
Right? There is no cookie cutter approach
and
here.
Our own higher skill set. Everybody's kind of got their own niche-y thing that they're better at than others.
Absolutely. Like Snooki, I really didn't work with her much.
No.
I worked, basically to know that she wasn't going to bite anybody. Mm-hmm. She was cool with that. And then you guys took it over.
Yep. Yeah.
And she's a massive success story. After how many trainers, she can do not just daycare, not just come here, not just exist in this bubble. She has a life outside of her parents' home and outside of the Common Dog.
Yeah. Yeah, and her owner said that she's done well with people coming over. Her reactivity is tremendously decreased. But you got to keep doing it.
I always joke about training. It's like algebra. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? If you do not continue to engage the dog, your pup, with stuff that can be difficult, they'll slip back into old habits, just like we do, right? Just like we do, right? Oh, I was really good about not eating sugar, and then I sort of fell off the wagon, and now I'm, back on the sugar wagon. So got to get back, that kind of thing. If you,
I'm doing so great, I can have that donut.
I can have that donut.
And that happens a lot more frequently than anything else. Is the dog is doing great, we can slip back.
It's like, would you let your dog just have a little? Oh, just that little. No, that is the. Do not give it to them. No, there's no safe amount. Okay. So wow, alcohol and drugs. We gotta probably put something different out there in our next podcast. I promise we're not like a bunch of crazy.
We do not do any of these things.
Yeah, and a little disclaimer.
We're the most boring people
in
that probably work here.
Don't drink alcohol. Anyway. Don't do drugs. So anyway, but her drug was her parents. Like
Mhm.
so many other dogs that have separation
Right.
anxiety, their drug, their reason for being, their air is their parents, and they need a reboot. They need a reset. That's why we really we seek people out who I can see their dog has separation anxiety just after watching them be with their dog for 5 minutes. Here's my card. Anyway, that's kind of our approach to separation anxiety. I think we're very good at helping people with that.
And it's when post-COVID, that was the thing. Like right after COVID, and we were back in like after
months and months wait long list.
We found that was the biggest thing. Everybody got a dog during COVID, and then everybody was home with their dog all the time during COVID, and the dog then in turn did not learn how to be away from their owner, because they're like, obviously this is the best time to get a dog. I have so much time, right? And then the dog does not learn how to be on its own because they were never left home alone, because you're home.
They never had to be.
And then we've gotten into, at least in our area, the Boston area, it's a lot of hybrid, like people being in office and then in home working, and we see a lot of that too. And
the poor dog, especially for dogs that have massive separation anxiety. We're all home forever, and then you get called back to work. It's like, here, jump in the pot, swim. No, they don't know how to do this. You have to help them with those life skills, because they didn't learn them as a young dog.
Right.
They didn't learn them in your house. Even if you rescued a dog and they didn't have those life skills before, they've been in your house and they've learned that this is how your house runs, which is why a reboot, a reset is so important for them, for the owners. So we love it. We love helping people through this, because it steals away from their life. It steals joy and happiness away from the owner's life and from the dog's life. I mean, to always be in that high anxious state, it's sad. It's very sad. So we try to help as many people as we can.
Yeah.
What's our tip today in terms of separation anxiety?
I would say confidence building, because we've talked about crating, we've talked about not talking to your dog. Both of those things play in part with this. I would say what else to do after that would be building your dog's confidence. So things that your dog is afraid of, kind of helping them through those things. So one of the things that JDL did a lot of in the structured area was working her over surfaces that are weird and under things that are weird, and just doing stuff with her that is weird. I know it sounds unusual, but
it's weird.
It's scary for her, right? And then you're teaching her how to get through it.
Snooks. Is it weird? She looks really tired.
She's very tired. Did you have an already interesting morning? And then, she learned how to go on the treadmill, which she's still figuring that one out, and just consistently making things happen that are unusual or scary for them, and helping them through it.
Right. Learning that they can get themselves through this.
Trash day is always a good one. There's like a lot of dogs. My dog used to be terrified of the trash barrels. Going out, and so every trash day we would just walk back and forth.
Face your fears. Face your fears.
Just deal with it. Otherwise, you're never gonna learn how to overcome things.
Right. Absolutely. So there's our tip for the day. Thank you so very much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.